Hello and welcome to today's webinar where we're going to be exploring Sage 50 Cloud. So this session is a high-level overview giving you an introduction to what Sage 50 Cloud offers. And as you can see from the title, it is UK only for now. So today we're going to be looking at what Sage 50 Cloud is and to give you an overview and an understanding of it. We'll have a look at why customers are wanting to move from desktop to the cloud and a comparison between them as well. I have a short overview video which shows you how easy it is to upgrade and how to log in once your data is on the cloud. This will also show you how to access multiple companies if you have more than one. I've also got some demonstrations around backing up, what that looks like as well if you want to move your backup local, along with things like sending to Excel and what printing looks like from the cloud as well. Then we're going to have a look at things to consider before moving to the cloud, so what those main differences are. And with this being new, you might have some questions as well. And we're going to have a look at that too in our Q&A section as well. To be clear, we're currently not removing desktop, but customers have asked for the ability to be able to access Sage from anywhere, from any device, without the use of remote data access. Because with remote data access, you need to have Sage 50 accounts installed on a device. With cloud, you simply open your browser and log in. Now, during my time on technical support, this was a common request from customers. There's no servers and there's less IT dependency when it comes to Sage 50 Cloud. There's also no installation or upgrades. You're always on the latest version as well. There's no VPNs or remote data access either. And with no need for servers, this can reduce your IT costs. With the same trusted Sage 50 accounts interface, there's no interruption to your workflow, so you can get started straight away with nothing new to learn. And because the experience stays familiar, there's no additional staff training required. Just carry on working and get logged in there. As you will see during the webinar, the upgrade to Sage 50 accounts is easy. You can upgrade your Sage 50 accounts desktop with zero disruption, same familiarity, same depth of functionality, just in the cloud. And security is obviously important, and Sage 50 is built on Microsoft Azure with automatic updates and enterprise-grade security. Just note, as I mentioned, Sage 50 Cloud functionality is currently UK only and not yet available within the Republic of Ireland. So why are we introducing Sage 50 accounts to the cloud? Well, look, the main reason is customer demand. And certainly when I worked on technical support, this was something customers were asking for. Being able to access Sage anywhere at any time without the need for remote data access. It also means there's less reliance on servers and IT support with no local installations required. Multiple users can work in real time, supporting both hybrid and remote users. You can connect with Sage apps without the need for local installations or configuration, and I'll come on to that a bit later in the webinar. But automatic updates give you the peace of mind, ensuring that you're always on the latest software version with up-to-date features and compliance without disrupting your work. And we're going to look into that in a bit more detail in the next few slides. Cloud connectivity helps reduce the need for on-site server management too, lowering ongoing IT costs while keeping your data accessible and secure. Let's look at some of the differences at a glance, and I'll cover these in a bit more depth in the next few slides. Installation. Currently on desktop, the installation is local to each PC and server. With cloud, you don't have any installation. Access. With desktop, you can access Sage on the PC it's installed on. You might be connected via a network or across a server, or you might be using remote data access, but Sage still needs to be installed to access it. With the cloud, it can be accessed anywhere throughout your browser, through your browser, from any device with access from the internet there, which just gives you more flexibility. Updates. Sage 50 accounts desktop requires manual updates, and this can mean updating the server first if you have one, then connecting the PCs, or all the connecting PCs need to be updated just to make sure that everybody's on the same version. With cloud, this is done automatically for you, so you're always on the latest version. So you're always notified prior to an update, but updates would run during the night. So when you log in the morning, you'll receive a message to tell you that you're on the latest version. Now, the obvious question is, well, what if I'm working while we try to do an update? So if you're logged on in the middle of the night, maybe you're working abroad, for example, you would just get a message to let you know that an upgrade is in progress. But remember, we'll give you plenty of notice before an upgrade is carried out. So you're always going to know when these are going to happen. Backups will continue as they do now, and I'm going to come on to that in a bit more detail later, but you still have scheduled backups and the option of taking a manual backup too, which we always recommend. And security on your desktop version of Sage 50 accounts is controlled locally. So it may have been set up by your IT, and this can be different for everybody. With Sage 50 Cloud, Sage stores it securely using Microsoft technology with advanced encryption monitoring, along with compliance measures and multi-factor authentication. Just keeps everything protected for you, giving you peace of mind. And then overheads. With desktop, you may have IT support, especially if your data is held over a network and you're using a server. The IT support and server would no longer be required for Sage 50 Cloud, meaning a reduction in your dependency for IT in this area. As I've said, with Sage 50 Cloud, there's no installation. Just log on, carry on with your day. But what does the upgrade look like? Well, once you've spoken to our sales team and they have your details, including your email address, we'll create your Sage 50 Cloud site. And you'll receive an email once this is done, letting you know the on-site is ready for you. Following this, you will need to refresh your license on your desktop version. And this is done from Tools at the top, Activation and Refresh License. And you'll then see a banner appear with Sage 50 Cloud is here, move your data to the cloud site. And this will appear for the manager user. The process is per company. So if you have more than one company, each company will require an upgrade. And how long this will take is going to depend on a few things. So things such as the speed of your internet and the size of your data. And the size of your data, that is something to consider. So do you need to look at running things like the Clear Audit Trail, which clears out old transactions? Do you need to look at data management if you've got a lot of old records you no longer use? Do you have archives from years ago maybe that you no longer use? These are all things that we've ran webinars on previously. So I've added a link to the slide there if you're wanting to look at tidying up your data first. Now, I will be showing you a video on this, which covers the following. So you're going to get a visual on it, but just to give you a rundown of what happens in the upgrade process. So it includes going through a full check of your data, just to make sure it's all in good health. And if there's any errors, these would need to be fixed before the upgrade can proceed. If the company is not cloud connected, you'll go through this process at this stage. Now, you'll be cloud connected if you've been using things like bank feeds or remote data access, because they require a cloud connection. You'll then activate Copilot for all users, which ensures all users have an email address assigned to them, which they're going to need to be able to log on to the company. They'll receive an email letting them know they have access and a link to log in once the upgrade is complete. It will take an all files backup, including all of your archives. And an archive is a complete copy of your data in the software at the time of taking the archive. So if you've got 15 archives plus your live data, that's 16 versions of the data. So this is why you might want to have a look, just see if there's any old ones that you no longer need. Once the upgrade is complete, the desktop version of that company becomes read-only, just to prevent anybody accidentally processing new data in the old desktop software. You'll then get a URL, which you can use to access your new cloud company, and you can add this to your desktop or save it to your favorites or taskbar for easy access to your new cloud version of 50 accounts. You'll then be asked if you want to upgrade another company, or if you've just got the one company, you can simply log in at this point. Other users, as I said, they'll receive an email using the email address you assigned to them during the upgrade process with a URL, letting them know that they now have access. So what I'll do now is I'll pop the video on so you can see the migration, get a visual on that as well. So I'm going to pop that on your screen now, and then I'll be right back with you after that's finished. After speaking with our sales team and upgrading to Sage 50 Cloud and refreshing your license, you'll see a banner at the top of your desktop version. This gives you a quick and easy way to move your data to the cloud. This date shows the end of your individual desktop license subscription. It's not a general end date for the end of the product. When you move to the cloud version, we'll update your desktop license so you're not paying for desktop and cloud at the same time. You'll have until that date to move your data to the cloud, after which access to your desktop product will end, giving you a clear and manageable window to upgrade. Enter the email address you registered when upgrading to Sage 50 Cloud. When clicking Migrate Now, a full check of your data is carried out to make sure it's in good health before migration can proceed. If there are any discrepancies, these would need to be resolved before you can upgrade your data. If the company is not cloud connected, you will go through this process at this stage. You will then activate Copilot for all users, which ensures all users have an email address assigned to them, which they will need in order to be able to log into the company. They will receive an email letting them know that they have access and a link to log in once the upgrade is complete. The program will then take an all files backup of your data, which is then moved to the cloud for you. How long this will take will depend on the size of your data and how fast your internet speed is. Once the upgrade is complete, the desktop version of that company becomes read-only to prevent anybody accidentally processing new data in the old desktop software. You can see the name at the top shows it's now read-only. You'll receive a URL that gives you direct access to your cloud company. You can copy and save this link for quick access, whether that's adding it to your favorites, pinning it to your taskbar, or keeping it on your clipboard for easy use. If you have more than one company, you can at this point upgrade another company, or if you just have one company, you can simply log in at this point. Other users will receive an email using the email address you assigned to them during the upgrade process with a URL letting them know they now have access. To access Sage 50 accounts in the cloud for the first time, paste the copied URL into your web browser. You'll then be prompted to sign in using your email and password with the option to save your details for quick access in the future. You may also be asked to accept or manage your browser cookies as part of the sign-in process. Once signed in, the first time you open the company, you'll see your data being securely restored into the cloud. When this is complete, your company will open in a new browser tab at the top of your screen. One way to access Sage 50 accounts in the cloud is by saving it to your favorites. I'm using Microsoft Edge for this demo. Other browsers may look a little bit different, but the process is broadly the same. Just click on the star icon to add it. From there, open your browser. You'll see a shortcut on your Favorites toolbar that you can click, or you can go to your Favorites and select Sage 50 accounts from the list. Enter your login details and you're in. You can also create a PIN for quick access. Open the three dots in the top right, go to More Tools, then choose whether to pin Sage 50 accounts to your Start menu or taskbar. If you'd prefer an icon on your desktop, you can create a shortcut using the web address. Start by copying the URL. Then on your desktop, right-click, select New, and choose Shortcut. Paste the URL into the window. Select Next, give the shortcut a name, and finish the setup. Once you've created the shortcut, you'll notice the icon looks different to your desktop version, making it easy to tell whether you're opening your cloud or your desktop company. Once created, you can open Sage using the shortcut and log in as normal. If you have access to more than one company, you might want to keep multiple companies open at the same time. We can see here that I'm logged into my Sage demo company. If you have access to multiple companies, select the plus icon in the top left, then choose the company you'd like to open and log in. In this example, I'm selecting my Sage Demo 1 company. If we hover over the Sage icon, you'll see both companies listed, making it easy to see and switch between companies. Once you've upgraded to the cloud, your desktop version becomes read-only. This helps prevent any data being entered there by mistake. On the company selection screen, you'll see the status shown as migrated to the cloud. As you can see, the upgrade is straightforward to Sage 50 Cloud and it looks the same as desktop, but we are going to have a look at a couple of other demonstrations as well. Backups are going to continue as normal with both schedule and manual backups being taken. The backups that you take are just like the ones that you would take when you're using the desktop version. The only difference being is instead of them defaulting to your C drive, which is on your local computer, they would default to the F drive in the cloud. Now you can still copy them to your C drive if you wanted to on your machine or to a USB if you prefer, but when creating the backup, the default location needs to be kept on the F drive, and we're going to look at that in a moment. The F drive has got 32 gig of space per license for your manual and scheduled backups. So just like on your desktop version, once this limit is reached, you would need to clear out older backups. But to make sure you don't run out of space, you'd also be notified when you are reaching that limit. And just like in the desktop version, you can also set older backups to automatically delete after a certain period of time, meaning that you've always got that constant rotation of recent backups. There were questions on the last webinar as to how it looked when taking a backup. So I've created a video just to show you, and I've also added in what it would look like when you're moving backups to your local PC, just so you can see what that looks like too. So I'm going to play that for you now, and then I'll be right back. If you want to save your backup locally, first we need to take the backup on the F drive. By going to File, Backup, leave the backup location set to the default F drive. You can then choose whether to check your data at this point. That's the backup now done on the cloud. Now we need to move the backup from the cloud to your local computer. To do this, click on the plus icon in the top left corner. From the drop-down, click on Sage 50 Cloud User Data. This will open the F drive where your backups are stored. If you have more than one company, you can create separate folders within the backup folder if you wish to keep them separate. We can see the backup I've taken here. On the left, expand the remote virtual drive by clicking on the arrow, and you'll see you have an Uploads and a Downloads folder. Simply drag the backup to your Downloads folder. You'll see a message pop up in the top right asking if you want to download files to your local desktop. This will only appear if you didn't select the option Don't Ask Again. Once downloaded, you'll see the backup in your local Downloads folder. We'll have a look at security now. How secure is Sage 50 when it's hosted in the cloud? So for the techie people watching this, it's going to make sense at a glance, but for people like myself, let me explain. So it has enterprise grade encryption, keeps your data safe. Your data is encrypted, which means it's scrambled into a secure code, so only authorized users can read it. So even if somebody tried to intercept it, they wouldn't be able to understand it. This protection applies when your data is stored and when it's being accessed. Industry standard security. So Microsoft Azure follows recognized industry standard security rules. And this includes things like regular security updates, strong access controls, 24/7 monitoring for threats. In short, the same level of security trusted by large organizations such as banks is protecting your Sage data. So when Sage 50 is hosted in the cloud, your data is stored on Microsoft Azure, which is one of the world's most secure cloud platforms. And it's used by banks, governments, and large global businesses. In simple terms, your data is locked down, protected, and constantly monitored. Sage also uses multi-factor ID, which adds an extra layer of protection when logging in. This means that you need your username and password plus something else like a code sent to your phone or an app. So even if someone knew your password, they still couldn't access your Sage data without that second check. Sage 50 Cloud automatically includes Sage Copilot for all users, which, as you saw in the video, you activate when upgrading your data to the cloud. And you do this for all users at this point. This ensures that they all have an email address assigned to their username so that they can receive the email inviting them to log in on the cloud. Your AI-powered digital assistant helps with things like debt analysis, reporting and insights, anomaly detection, and reduces admin along with supporting better decisions. But Michael does cover a full webinar on just Copilot on its own, which I've included a link to the recording on our recordings page there. And also there is a guide on our help center which covers it in more detail too. When it comes to apps, Sage apps will work as normal in Sage 50 Cloud. So there's no change there. So things like your Go Cardless, salary and supplier payments, Sage expenses, auto entry, invoice payments, etc., they're all there. For e-banking, all plugins come pre-installed, so there's nothing extra to set up. Everything is ready to go, just select your bank. And your bank feeds will simply just need to reconnect after you upgrade, helping you pick up where you left off without disruption. So things like your bank feed rules, they'll all still be there. Nominal Link, it's not currently supported as payroll is still for the moment only available on desktop. However, a temporary alternative to Nominal Link, in payroll, you could output the file and then upload it to the cloud and import it. Third-party apps, however, aren't initially supported, but this is something that will be introduced. So it is just worth factoring that in to your timing for upgrading if you do rely on them. But there is a lot of information on our frequently asked questions page, which there is a link on the slides further on. Let's have a look at what's changing in Sage 50 Cloud, and it is minimal. I mentioned earlier that Sage 50 Cloud Accounts has the same look and feel as what you're already familiar with, meaning that the learning curve is minimal. However, there are some small differences, and we're going to have a look at those now. Things like sending to Excel. and emailing from Outlook looks a little bit different. You can still do them, it just looks a little bit different when you're using Sage 50 Cloud. So Send to Excel is similar. The program will create a CSV file and it will save it to your local downloads on the device that you're using. You can then open it, save it, print it, or email it from there as normal. And I've created a video which I'll show you in a moment just so you can get a visual on that. And then there's emailing from Outlook. So at the moment in desktop, Sage 50 connects to Outlook and it lets you save emails in your drafts. In Sage 50 Cloud, emails are sent using something called SMTP settings, which is a standard way of sending emails directly. So saving emails into drafts in Outlook won't be available in the cloud. Now, the easiest way to explain this is when Sage 50 moves to the cloud, it no longer lives on your computer or server, and therefore it doesn't have direct access to Outlook. Now, because of this, Sage can't open Outlook or save emails to drafts the way it used to. So instead, Sage has to send emails on your behalf. And to do that, it uses something called SMTP settings, which just stands for Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Now, if you're not using Outlook already, you'll be familiar with SMTP. So it's nothing new, but it is a bit different if you're used to saving emails to drafts. But we'll have a look at what it looks like when you're sending to Excel, and then we're going to have a look at some common questions there as well. So I'll be right back with you after I've played this. If you want to send to Excel, simply click on Send to Excel in the relevant area. In this example, I'll use the customer list. You'll see the message asking if you want to download files to your local desktop. You can prevent this message from appearing again by ticking this box. Click Yes to download the file. A download started message will appear at the top. Once downloaded, you will see this in your Downloads folder on your local device, and you can open it from there. These are some of the common questions on the first 50 Cloud session that we ran. So I thought I'd pop a few on here, and I've also popped a link on there for our common questions on the Community Hub, which we posted as well, which we're going to be updating too. So the first one was with, will HMRC integration work as it does now for VAT and CIS returns? So yes, you'll still be able to submit to HMRC through Sage 50 Cloud. Are third-party apps supported? So as I mentioned earlier, currently third-party integration, it's not supported. However, they are a key part of our vision for Sage 50 Cloud, and we're actively working to bring them to the platform. So as soon as we have more information to share, you'll hear it from us first. But as I said before, there is a lot more information on our Community Hub around the third-party integrations there. And then this question is a bit more niche, but we did get a few questions around this. So will ODBC and Excel-based reporting be available in Sage 50 Cloud? So this is not the same as sending to Excel, which you've just seen. Excel is not pre-installed on the virtual machine that Sage 50 Cloud runs on. So this means that ODBC connectivity and any workflows that depend on it, such as Excel-based reporting and data exports, won't be available straight away. But it does remain under constant review, and we'll be sharing updates on that soon. Now, these are just a few of the common questions that we got last time, and we have compiled a list, like I mentioned earlier, of the questions that were asked, which are available on our Community Hub, and that's the link I've included there on the slide, and you'll also get a link on the follow-up email as well for that. We did receive a few questions around printing from Sage 50 Cloud as well. So I've created another short video just to show you how it looks. And this is quick and easy as well. So I'm going to pop the video on now. When logging in, an in-session settings menu will appear. To send documents straight to your printer, leave Printer ticked and click Connect. If you have opted for Don't Show Again, you can still amend these settings by going to the Settings cog in the top right and selecting Resources. To demonstrate the printing process, I'll use Customers. I'll access reports from the top. I'm using the customer list in this example. Click Print. Select the criteria values. Click OK. Select Local Printer. Click OK. A print preview screen will appear. Select your printer from the Destination drop-down menu. Click Print and the document will be sent to your local printer. To summarise the benefits, customers have been asking for Sage 50 Cloud for a while now, and it's just something that we can simplify your working life basically, especially for small teams without dedicated IT. You're just logging on wherever you may be. And we've covered things like your benefits. There's no installs, there was automatic updates, and also easy collaboration. You've also got enterprise grade security. So 24/7 access from an internet connected device just means you can log on at any time, anywhere, even if it's just to quickly check something. It's the same trusted Sage 50 interface. So there's no learning curve. Looks just the same, but in the cloud. So you're not having to relearn how to use the software. You have less IT dependency because there are no servers needed for Sage 50 in the cloud. You don't need them for installs, backups, upgrades, and so on. As you saw in the video, there are a number of ways to access your Sage 50 accounts from your home screen. You can get it from the home screen, as I said, if you've got multiple companies, once they're upgraded from the cloud there. You can create a shortcut on the desktop as well, pin it to your start menu or your taskbar, or save it to your favorites. You simply sign in with your Sage account and you're in. Same familiar look and feel, just hosted in the cloud. So is Sage 50 Cloud right for you? And we've looked at the highlights. So it's ideal for remote or hybrid working, connecting to Sage remotely anytime, anywhere, using any device. There's less reliance on IT with no manual installs or upgrades and no need for a dedicated server. Updates happen automatically overnight, so there's no downtime and minimal disruption to your business. You also have automatic updates and security. However, there are reasons why it might be a great fit, but why you might want to, or you might not be ready for it just yet. So you'll need to have a reliable internet connection to use Sage 50 Cloud. And also third-party apps are not supported just yet, but they are coming soon. So if you do rely on them, it might be best to wait until they're available before moving. And that's just to be clear with you from the start. But it's completely your choice. Sage 50 Desktop continues to be supported, so you can keep working in a way that suits you. And that's without any changes. What this means is that you're in control. You can take time to look at the cloud features and decide what's right for your business. When you're ready, you can then make the move at a pace that works for you based on your setup, your processes, and when you rely on day to day. You also have plenty of time to make the switch and upgrade to the cloud once it's added to your license. What are your next steps? Well, Sage 50 Cloud, it's getting closer to launch and it's going to be available very soon. Over the coming weeks, we're going to keep you updated through your Sage homepage, your notifications, and email communication. So you're going to be among the first to know when it's available. When Sage 50 Cloud launches, you'll be able to purchase an upgrade and receive an updated license, allowing you to take advantage of all the benefits of the cloud connected experience. And I can see plenty of questions have been coming in, so you're keeping everybody busy there. So a few questions that we've had come in there. So Andrew's asked, if you have more than one company, can you just move one company to the cloud? If you're upgrading to the cloud, it is better to move all companies to the cloud just to avoid any confusion over which company is held where and which license you're going to be using as well. Sandra, you've asked, if I upgrade to the cloud and people are logged in using remote data access, can they still continue processing? So if anybody was accessing the company with remote data access, they're going to be presented with a message telling them that the remote data access has been revoked, essentially. They should be aware of that, though. If you are upgrading to the cloud, they'd also get an email inviting them to log in on the cloud as well. So it shouldn't be a surprise to them. I'd imagine they'd be aware if you were moving to the cloud. James, you've asked how long does it take to activate the license? So from speaking to our sales team, the cloud environment, it normally takes around 10 minutes for it to be ready. So it's not a huge amount of time. And you get an email once it's ready as well, letting you know, and that's when you would then update your license. And Joe, you've asked, will bank feeds work when I move to the cloud? So yes, as I mentioned before, once you log in on the cloud, you would just be asked to reconnect your bank feeds. It'll carry everything over. Rules that you've created, they're all still going to be there as well. So there's going to be no loss of anything on there. But that does bring us to the end of the webinar today. So once again, thank you for attending, and you will get a recording in around about an hour's time as well via email too. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you again.